Bonjour tout le monde. Today is another live French lesson. In the last two lessons, we looked at the present tense and we looked at the passé composé for the past tense. So today we're going to be looking at the future simple, the future tense, and we're also going to look at the construction with the future proche and maybe a little bit of a comparison with the present simple. So I'm going to share my screen here with you. Okay, so as you can see here, so again, you have these subject pronouns like je, tu, il, elle, ça. I guess you could also include on here. And you have the plural nous, vous, il, elle. And we add these endings, which will look very similar to avoir. So you have AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, and ONT. So if you need to review how the verb avoir conjugates, this will be those kind of endings that you have on avoir, and you'll add this to the infinitive. So I'll take, for example, parler, so to speak, and I will add AI at the end, and I'll get the future of I will speak, je parlerai. If you add the infinitive with AS, you'll get you will speak, tu parleras, and il, elle, ça, and I guess you could also add on, parlera, and nous parlerons. That's for the ONS ending after the infinitive, and then vous parlerez with the EZ ending here after the infinitive, and then il, elles parleront. Okay, so I could ask some questions, make some affirmative statements, and make some negative statements. So I could have, est-ce que tu parleras français? Parleras-tu français? Je parlerai français. Je ne parlerai pas français. Okay. There are irregular stems with a handful of verbs and also their kind of derived forms as well. So you have things like accueillir, aller, acquérir, s'asseoir, avoir, cueillir, devoir, être, faire, valoir, mourir, mouvoir, pleuvoir, pouvoir, quérir, tenir, savoir, valoir, venir, voir, vouloir. So several of these verbs are also irregular. If you've seen the other videos for Spanish or for Italian in the future tense, you do have some other stem changing going on in the future. So here you can see these forms. I've actually gone through and put all of them here into this table. So you can have j'irai, j'acquerrai, je m'assierai, j'aurai, je cueillerai, je devrais, je serai, je ferai, je mourrai, je m'ouvrai, je pourrai, je querrai, je tendrai, je saurai, je viendrai, je verrai, je voudrais. Just making sure there's not a small mistake there. Just a second. Because I think I was copying a couple examples here from this table with tenir. Yeah, sorry, there was a small mistake there with tenir. Should have the I. Sorry for that. Just double checking here. And tenir. So even though I've been studying French for a very, very long time, helps to double check and make sure you have all the spell check on here. Okay, so these endings themselves are not irregular, but the stems, well, like the endings, the AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, and ONT, those forms will be the same, but the stems are what you're gonna have to worry about on here. So there's not too many on here. I mean, you also have a few examples with like essayer, where you might have a change between the Y and the I. You might have examples like appeler, where the double L is in there, and there's a few on there. And another possibility for talking about the future, instead of using this form, because this one is basically like saying, I will do something, I will go, I will be, I will have. Another possibility is using for the what's called the futur proche, use a form of aller, to go, as an auxiliary verb. And you have, for example, je vais parler, tu vas parler, il, elle, ça, on va parler, nous allons parler, vous allez parler, ils, elles vont parler. And that functions very similarly to in English with I'm going to speak, I'm going to talk. In other cases, it is also possible to use the present tense, just like je parle, or like if I have dinner plans with somebody, I can say je mange avec elle demain, like I'm eating with her tomorrow. Or so you do have some flexibility with the present tense. In the as a near future, you can have this futur proche with aller, and you also have this future simple with these endings, the AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ, ONT. I was asking a native speaker yesterday and kind of trying to ask a little bit of some of these subtleties between like what differences are there between these kind of like going to do something versus will or the present simple, and there weren't too many nuances, so it wasn't so easy to say like you use this versus this one. But I will continue to research this, and if you have some insights, if you are a native speaker, please feel free to leave a comment or a correction on here. And I would say definitely check out on the Wiktionary website to see some of these conjugations. You can see here we're looking at we've looked at the present. We looked at the present perfect as the passé composé, as a composed tense on here. And there you need to look up avoir, and then you also need to look at the for this past participle here. But today we were looking at the future for this future simple: parlerai, parlera, parlera, parleront, parlerai, parleront. And here they even give you the phonetics for that, so you can review. Okay, and I think that kind of covers most of what you need to know about the future. But this should get you started with your conversation skills for using the present tense, using the passé composé, and then using the future. And if you don't have an irregular verb, like that's not on this list, go ahead and just add these endings to the infinitive. Otherwise, a very simple way to talk about the future is just using the futur proche, where you're just conjugating aller. That one is kind of a bit of a no-brainer. Just conjugate a futur proche, conjugate aller, add the infinitive, and you won't have any problems. So in worst case scenario, don't worry about the future simple form if you're a little nervous about discovering one of these irregular stem verbs. When in doubt, you can use the futur proche, and people will understand you, and most native speakers would use it as well in their conversations. So I think that just about covers it. And I would say, so if you thank you for watching, and if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment. So, and as again, I'm not a native speaker, so please make sure to have a chance to speak with a native speaker to get corrections on your pronunciation and practice using these forms. So thank you very much. And next week we'll be looking at some interjections, things like, oh, really? How interesting. Oh, that's cool. Those kinds of little phrases that people add into their speaking to make it sound a little more natural. So thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.